Hello and welcome to a commentated clear of Shippu Mahou Daisakusen, also known as Kingdom Grand Prix. Now, I'll get straight to the point here. This game is kind of a mess, and I love it for it. So, Kingdom Grand Prix is a shmup by Raizing of Battle Garega fame. It was released in 1994, and it was Raizing's second game after Mahou Daisakusen, or Sorcerer Striker, and as the Japanese names would imply, it's a sequel, but not a straightforward one. Kingdom Grand Prix retains the fun, steampunkish fantasy world of Sorcerer Striker. You have Cheetah, Gain, Miyamoto and Bornum returning along with some new playable characters. It has the same amazing graphics style and energetic music, but there's a twist. Kingdom Grand Prix is not only a Raizing shmup, it is also a racing shmup. The way it works, or maybe I should say doesn't work, is that you have 7 other racers going through the stage alongside you. The higher up on the screen you are, the faster you go. The lower you are, the more you slow down. You can also hold down your fire button to charge a little speed boost, but watch out cause you can't fire while charging. You can ram or even bomb your opponents to get an advantage, and you probably want to use everything you have at your disposal since in trademark Raizing style, the odds are stacked against you. You're the only one who has to fight the bosses, for example, while the others just breeze by. I don't think Kingdom Grand Prix is considered to be one of the Raizing's better games, and it's easy to see why. The racing aspect is a novel idea, but doesn't really come together in a very meaningful way. Managing your speed feels janky, and it can sometimes be hard to understand why a particular stage went well or poorly. Sometimes the other racers just mess you up by appearing when you need to be doing some careful dodging. It's just kinda all over the place. And still, despite all of this, I think the racing's kinda neat. First of all, it's unlike anything else I've seen in a shmup, so it gives the game a unique flavor. Every run is slightly different, and it's fun to see how you end up placing in the race, while also just trying to survive the actual shmup gameplay. There's some so bad it's good energy going here, and that's something I always enjoy. Sorcerer Striker is a better designed and executed game, but its steadiness can get a little boring. Kingdom Grand Prix is pretty messy, but it's sure not boring. Also, I do think there are some legitimately cool things about the game. I like how a single loop is only 15 minutes long, I like how you can bump into lots of stuff without dying, and I like how you can choose which levels you want to play. I'm constantly amazed by Raizing's artists and composers, because audiovisually this game is a delight. It just has this bubbly, bouncy, carefree vibe to it. There's some really funny bits of text here, like the "chicken is no need" of the intro sequence. In typical Raizing fashion, there's a large roster of characters that don't seem to be balanced that well, but that's part of the charm for me. I chose to play Nirvana because I liked her attitude, her in-game sprites, and where else can you play a huge fairy? She's the fastest character, which just adds to the general disorder and chaos, but in a fun way. There's a Japanese and European version of the game, and I couldn't really find concrete information about the gameplay differences. But I did a clear of both, and the European one is moderately easier. Like, enemies have less health, some of the attacks are gentler, and it's easier to place decently in the race. For one loop play, I think both are fine. If you're a more experienced player, maybe try the Japanese version first. If you're more on the beginner side, go for the European version. So this run was done on the Japanese version using Nirvana, the huge fairy. I managed to complete the first loop of the game. Racing results, not so hot. Let's watch the run. So, the racing gameplay kinda sucks, but it also gives the game a ton of personality. Like, you have everybody waiting here at the starting line, you have the announcer, the race starts. It's just a very different feeling from what you usually get at the start of a shmup. And I just picked up some coins there, which power up my main shots, and then I picked up an H power up, which gives me the first level of the homing sub-weapon. And what you'll see me doing in this stage is just destroying enemies normally and then getting to the top of the screen to gain speed. So yeah, getting some speed, then going down to destroy the enemies, then going to the top of the screen again. Will get much harder to do in later stages. And I like how this very brief intro stage, it's like an appetizer or something, and this boss, nothing super special. The weird thing is that you get a bomb pickup halfway through the boss fight, so be sure to pick that up amidst all of the bullet fire. And the interesting thing about this game is that you get this enemy rush after every boss. It's like, I don't know, it's actually kind of cool. The stage doesn't end after the boss. You have this kind of a final stretch of the race after the boss. Really nice. I got the third place, which is not too bad. Second stage is quite a bit more dangerous, and the interesting thing is that you have these walls. You kind of have like a racetrack, which takes these swerves now and then. And the nice thing is that you can crash into the walls. Well, not crash, but you can touch the walls, nothing happens, and you can also bump into a lot of the enemies. So that's kind of a nice thing about this game, kind of a forgiving thing. Well, I guess this wouldn't work at all if you couldn't bump into like other racers and stuff, but yeah. Here the kind of I think the speed of the game picks up too, like the tempo and the kind of a chaotic nature intensifies. It's kind of hard to keep track of what's happening all of the time, and because I'm playing the fastest character in the game, yeah, it can kind of get out of control sometimes. Again, a very quick stage, which I appreciate, and we're at the boss. Now, the thing about this boss is that it has this attack where it shoots like this spinning disc, which you have to avoid by getting kind of up from the bottom of the screen. But the boss didn't do it in this run, which was very strange. This was the only run where I didn't get this spinning attack, so I guess I got lucky there. Then again, we get the last stretch of the race. Here I am at the third position, now bumped to fifth, doing very badly. These wizard type enemies are actually kind of dangerous because I think they can snipe you from below, so I usually try to take them out whenever I can. So fifth position, I'm starting to lose the race. One thing you can do in this game is to bomb at the very start of each stage, because then you get like a head start. And the thing about this stage is that we are entering Dracula's castle. Weird. There's this gate which closes after you pass it, and what this means is that now all of the other racers are trapped behind that gate. So I can take my time here without worrying about the other racers. It's kind of a cheap thing to do, but also you need to use a bomb for it, so it's kind of a it's not like a free win. This is not my favorite stage in the game. It's kind of a slow and you have these tight corridors, and I don't know, it just feels kind of cramped and a little bit, I don't know, just not my favorite. And this part is kind of cool with how crowded it gets, and you get these worms which have like crazy animations. Like, look at that mouth. Like, what were they like doing at Raizing? And here something is gonna happen soon. Yeah, so I died very unexpectedly. I had to watch the replay like frame by frame to realize that one of the coffins shot a bullet at me from below. Like, there's not much bullet ceiling in this game, so you can get sniped from very close. And now, what sucks is I don't have any of my homing weapons, and my main shot got powered down. So now this fight takes like 3 times as long as usually, or at least 2 times as long. So I died to a very kind of a silly thing, and now I just kind of need to get through this boss fight with just like pure skill, dodging skill. It's a very funny thing. Dracula takes a snack halfway through. So with this attack you just tap dodge, and with these cards I'd recommend just macro dodging. And the annoying thing is that because I died and I take my time at the boss fight, the other racers catch up to me, so yeah, but at least I finished second, so that's not too bad. I enjoyed this stage quite a bit, because it's a kind of a pretty fast stage for the most part, and there's some cool sections in it. So here just getting some enemies, doing some small dodges, nothing too special, but then the speed picks up and we get these like like snowballs or something falling down. And these kind of frozen zombies, you want to watch out for them because they shoot this really fast ice beam at you. Again, some really nice enemy sprites here. And nothing happens for a while. So now I'm picking up some power-ups. I'm at a nice power level. And here I do a planned bomb because there's lots of these small enemies and it's easy to get like just hit by a bullet. And there I die again at a very weird spot. And again I had to watch the replay to figure out what happened. And I got bumped into an enemy. And the enemy, or I guess I should say that the enemy bumped me into a bullet. So now again I'm powered down a little and I need to do this boss fight. This one's not too bad, but there's very little room to dodge, so that's why I bomb here. Because with this character it's very hard to do like those small micro dodges. So now because I've died twice, I don't have any more spare lives left, so I'm on my last life. But soon at 300,000 points I will get an extend, so I will get an extra life soon. Now I finished 7th position. Very bad. Nirvana is not happy. I think this is where the challenge level of the game starts to pick up. And it's actually pretty bad that I took those deaths, especially in the last stage, because I'm kind of underpowered at this moment, and soon we'll get a huge amount of enemies. Like, there's not that many like obstacles in this stage. It's just these huge swarms of enemies that have quite a bit of hit points, so I need to play very carefully here. At least I get these homing power-ups. And these magicians, I don't think their attacks actually kill you, but they kind of stun you for a moment. And of course that can be fatal. So yeah, just trying to play very carefully here. And I have an extra life in stock now, but I want to save it for what's coming up in the kind of for the boss and for the next stage too. So yeah, just lots of like enemies here. There's not that much actual dodging in this game, at least in the first loop. It's more about like knowing the like difficult spots of the game and destroying enemies as quickly as possible, so you don't need to dodge that much. And again, the graphics and the atmosphere are like top notch here. Like these enemies coming from the clouds, and very nice. So this boss is kind of unfair in my opinion. It's the hardest section in the game by far. Like, those homing lasers are super hard to dodge. Here I get cornered, and actually I forget that I had an extra bomb, so I didn't even bomb there. Whatever. So just a lot of bomb spam here because it's very, very difficult to actually dodge these attacks. So now again, I'm on my last life. I only have one bomb in the bank, so we have the final stage left. So I need to play very carefully from this point on. And actually, I will get a second life extend in this run, but I get it after destroying the final boss, which is kind of, I don't know, kind of weird, but I guess it's more for like 2 loop players, like getting that extend there. And here you need to be careful. There's like an power-up carrier with the front shots flying around there. And what would happen to me in other runs is that I would shoot to select the stage that I want, and I would accidentally pick up the other sub-weapon, which is much worse for Nirvana. And then I would start the stage with the wrong weapon. I would be like, what happened? So this stage, not too difficult. I think like stage 5 is probably the hardest one, but again, because I'm like 1 hit away from death, I need to play very carefully. But it's nice that I have an upgraded homing weapon at this point, though my main shot is kind of weak, and it's actually, again, I'm just not a huge fan of recovery in shmups, because it just kind of feels kind of bad to play with a weaker main shot. It's just more fun to have nice weapons. And here in this section you need to watch out for these like turrets things, these kind of barrels that shoot these small homing missiles, because you will die to them if you fail to notice that they're even flying towards you. That happened to me in some other runs. But it's nice that these pink balls don't actually destroy you, I think. So again, the game's just throwing lots of enemies at you, but not too bad. Just try to speed kill everything here. And now this is a kind of a tricky section before the final boss, because these ships take a lot of damage, so there's only 2 of them. Yeah, nice. And the final boss, really strange, because it has a lot of different attacks that it chooses to use at random, and I get very easy patterns in this run. Like, I just destroy those missiles that it shoots, then yeah, I dodge those fast bullets, then bomb, then dodge again, and then the boss is basically done. Like, the blue beam is very easy to dodge once you know that it's coming, and actually the part after the boss is harder than the actual boss, so you get again these ships that take a lot of damage too. But now I have an extra life in stock, so even if I die, not too bad. I'm in the 6th position. Let's see if somebody will catch up to me before we get to the finish line. Oh, there comes Cheetah. Yeah, and that's the first loop of Shippu Mahou Daisakusen done. As I said in the introduction, I really appreciate how short the game is, how short all the stages are, and you can make lots of mistakes and still end up finishing the game. So, yeah, pretty janky game, but very fun to play. And I think I'll try to play some other characters in the future. So yeah, I lost the race, so Nirvana isn't very happy. And actually, getting into a nice position in the race felt much easier in Kingdom Grand Prix, so I might try that also. And love this text in this screen. So yeah, thank you very much. This had to play at this time. Yeah, so that's Shippu Mahou Daisakusen done. Thanks for watching. See you later.